Hey crafty people, it's Tasha, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a 5 ways with pattern paper in card making video. Firstly, I'd like to apologise, this video is a little later than anticipated. Unfortunately, I did get COVID and yeah, that's kind of put paid to most of the plans I had the past few weeks. But yeah, I am finally delivering the video that goes with the reel that I posted 2 weeks ago. I'm going to be using the Catherine Pooler Happy Mama pattern paper set. They are 6x6. You get 3 of each of the designs, 24 in total. This is £80 cardstock, and there's just some really fun, bright spring kind of patterns and colours in it. I also wanted to show that one thing that they do with their pattern paper, they tell you which inks, the colours that are in that paper, so which of your inks will go with it. They also bring out a coordinating like sequin mix, so it makes it really easy to know what to put together. So for this first card, I've chosen a couple of the patterns that I think look nice together. I like to go for a sort of one more in your face pattern and one a little bit more toned down. And we are going to strip it up. So yeah, just as it sounds. So I've added double-sided adhesive to the back of that leafy strip, and then I'm going to add here, this is the thinner of the 2 really thick foam tapes that Little Paper Tree now have, and yeah, they're awesome. They're great for shakers, but I also just like that it gives you a bit more lift. They're a bit thicker than your average foam tape. So I added the stripy panel on with a couple of strips of that, just for some fun and dimension. And then to finish up this card, I am going to stamp the little hippo from, can't remember the stamp set's name, but I will have it listed. So I stamped the hippo out in Midnight ink, just onto some £80 Nina, and then you can see that I was just checking the packaging to see what colours would work well, to choose which of my colours I wanted to use from the ones that they said were in these patterns. So I went with Samba. I die cut my little hippo out, and I'm going to tuck him in there underneath that top strip. So the other way to use pattern paper that I have in this card, as well as adding it in strips, using it to make a really simple but abstract scene. So here, you know, if you think about it too much, no, it doesn't make sense that the hippo would be popping out of that pattern, but it looks cute together. It's just a simple way to make a scene, and it's taken me next to no time. So I stamped a sentiment on that strip that's popped up, and then I'm just adding some of the pretty Helsinki sequin mix all over the card for a little bit of bling. So let's move on to card number 2. Here I've got some more of that stripy paper because I really love that pattern, and I've got these little dolls from the, I want to say We Fit stamp set. Again, I will have everything linked below. I'm so shocking with names. And I'm just stamping those images onto a few of the different pattern papers in the set. I am going to double stamp it because I want to make sure that that outline is really dark and bold so that you can see it against the patterns. But it's a really quick way of adding some images to your card, but there's no need to colour them, there's no need to do anything. It's so simple to just stamp those images down and then die cut it, and that's it, that's done. So to make the background for my little dolls to go on. I've stamped one of the sentiments from the same stamp set, and a couple of the little bits of like filler leaves, which again are from the same stamp set. Stamp them straight onto an 80 panel of Nina £80 in Midnight ink, and then I'm going to add my 3 dolls. I'm not wanting them to look like they're sort of sat on a ledge or anything. I'm just adding them a little bit fun on some foam tape, and then again I've sprinkled some of the Helsinki sequins all around, and that's that card done as well. Super quick. So the next way is to lean into those florals. Sometimes you might want it to be a bit more subtle, but sometimes, especially with a pattern as gorgeous as this, that's all you need. Like, you don't need anything else to make this a beautiful card. So for my sentiment, I'm just going to add a strip of white cardstock I just cut off from an A2 panel, and that A2 panel will show up in the next card. And then I'm stamping this large blocky Fabulous in Samba ink again. So I did double stamp it because I wanted a really, really strong, bold sentiment. And I really love how it looks when it's against those florals, because they completely take centre stage. This sentiment isn't going to take away from them, but it fits so perfectly with the colours that are in the paper already, because Catherine Pooler has done that work for us and told us which inks will work, and it just makes everything so much easier. So I'm going to attach that patterned cardstock onto a card base. I trimmed it down just slightly just to give me a little bit of a white border around, just because that's how I like my cards to be mainly. And then I've added some foam tape behind that Fabulous, and I'm going to pop that on, but I've purposely left that so that it goes to the end of the card, not the end of the patterned paper panel, if that makes sense. Hopefully you'll see what I mean. So once I've got that on and straight, I did decide to add a little sub-sentiment just with Midnight ink, and I've just stamped that straight onto that pattern paper. So my full sentiment says Fabulous, Phenomenal, Incomparable, Legendary, I think. Really super simple. So remember, I took that couple of inch strip off the bottom of an A2 panel of Nina £80. So this is what was left of that. We're going to do sort of the converse of what we've just done. So here I'm going to stamp a pretty sentiment, again using Samba ink and Midnight, and then I am going to glue that straight down onto an A2 panel of the patterned cardstock. So you're going to get that just a strip of the pattern at the bottom, and you still get all that beautiful, beautiful pattern, but it is a little bit more sedate. And for this one I chose some different sequins, and I will add them below. I can't remember what they're called, but they're just basically clear sequins. They've just got a little bit of shine to them, and yeah, I love that. So for our fifth and final card, we are going to grab a cover die, and we're going to cut that cover die from that pattern paper. And is it a lot of pattern? Heck yeah. Do I love it still? Heck yeah. So, some patterns and some cover dies aren't necessarily going to go together, but just try it and see what you get. You might really love it. So I'm adding some liquid glue all across the back, and then I am going to stick this down onto a panel of, this is just a grey cardstock that I had in my stash. I did decide to trim a little bit off each side of that panel, And then I trimmed down this yellow spotty pattern to be A2 size so that I could mount that patterned die cut panel onto the other panel. So it just gave us a little pop of yellow all around the outside. And again, I've paired a much busier pattern with a more sedate calm pattern. And I've stacked up the Happy Birthday round die, I think twice, from 2 layers of £110 cardstock, because I like my sentiment die cuts to be thick. And then it was getting a little bit lost on that pattern, so I did just add some vellum to the back and trim it down. And there are 5 cards for today. So I hope that you like them. I hope that gives you some ideas. You can hop over to the blog post to see all of the different cards, close-up photos, and I will have a list of all the supplies that I used in each one. I hope that was worth the wait. Sorry that it was a little bit later than intended, but I'm really happy to be feeling not fully 100%, but much more back to normal. So if you aren't already subscribed to the channel, then please do go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you tap the notification bell, then you won't miss any of our videos. We're sharing ideas all the time, and we'd love for you to join our tribe. I hope that you have a lovely, happy, safe, and wonderful week. Stay crafty. Bye.